You've crossed over, and maybe you didn't even realize it. There was no flash, no writing in the sky, no thunderous revelation. The crossing happened in the invisible when something inside you finally went quiet. And in that silence, something far deeper awakened. Most people expect great changes to come with great signs, but the most powerful transitions don't shout, they vibrate. They reveal themselves in subtle details, in the way you've started to respond, in the exhaustion that suddenly lifted, or in that strange lightness that came out of nowhere, as if the weight of years dissolved in a single breath. This is the secret few know. The most important portals in life don't open with hands. They unlock through frequency. And your vibration, even if silently, has already reached the point of activation. The portal opened within, and it was there, in the intimacy of your energetic field, that you crossed into the new season. Maybe that's why some things started feeling distant. Certain people, places, or desires. Suddenly they no longer resonate. You didn't lose interest, and your energy simply stopped connecting. This isn't detachment, it's elevation. And when you elevate, what's misaligned naturally falls away. Don't be alarmed if the world feels quiet now. When you shift to a new vibrational dimension, the first impact is silence. This happens because the old stimuli no longer have access to your new field. You're not isolated. You're attuned. And this new state demands a different kind of listening. Finer, deeper, more sacred. Has your anxiety lessened? Has the sense of urgency lost its grip? Have your thoughts slowed down? These are all signs, not of stagnation, but of transition. What felt like slowness is, in fact, alignment with the true timing of your soul. You've crossed over, and now what matters isn't chasing, it's sustaining. Because in this new phase, it's not the one who rushes who wins, it's the one who vibrates with consistency. And remember, you weren't pulled into this new cycle by force. It was your frequency that called for it. You're already on the other side. The question now is, will you be able to sustain what's been released to you? The energy of victory doesn't make a fuss. It doesn't arrive with crowds or seek the spotlight. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is. And that's exactly why it no longer fits in old environments. Because true victory, the kind born from an internal mutation, carries such a high vibration that it begins to filter everything around it. People, ideas, patterns, memories. Everything starts to reorganize not by force but by resonance. You notice this in the absences. Some invitations stopped coming. Certain friends no longer reach out. Conversations that once held your attention now feel empty. Places you used to enjoy suddenly feel heavy. And you wonder, am I pulling away from people? No. It's your frequency doing the silent work of refining your reality. The energy of victory demands alignment, and that alignment repels what's no longer in tune with who you've become. So if you insist on holding on to connections with people who aren't ready for this new phase, you'll start to feel drained. It's not about rejection, it's about preservation. The frequency of victory filters, not to punish but to protect. To protect the new code you carry, to protect the expansion still in process. You can't stay elevated if you keep trying to explain your new vibration to those still rooted in the previous cycle. That's why so many masters, upon reaching certain levels, choose silence. Because the vibration of victory is delicate, and it must be sustained with wisdom. This is the moment when the universe reorganizes your connections. What falls away now isn't loss, it's liberation. What drifts apart isn't a lack of love. It's a sign that the cycle has completed. Accept the filter. Embrace the silence. Honor the frequency. Because only those who respect this internal tuning process can remain in the season of victory. Before we continue, if this message is resonating with you in some way, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment below about what you're feeling. This isn't just a video, it's a vibrational space, and your presence here is part of the manifestation. You're still you. But everything around you has started to react as if something is different. And it is. Your energy has shifted. Your vibration has silently reconfigured. And the universe responds to it with mathematical precision. Maybe you've noticed different looks when you enter a room. Environments that once welcomed you now seem to push you away. Or conversely, situations that always caused discomfort now dissolve in your presence. These aren't coincidences, they're reverberations. You've become an active field, and the world responds to your new frequency. And here's the key point. You're not forcing this change. You're not trying to manipulate what happens around you. You've simply become more true to yourself, and your aligned vibration repels what's false, attracts what's authentic, and realigns what's out of sync. Your energy has become a mirror. Those who approach you now see their own reflection more clearly. This can attract or intimidate. So don't be surprised if some people start pulling away without any apparent reason. They're not reacting to you. They're reacting to the reflection you awaken in them. Your light exposes shadows. Your presence reorganizes fields. Your silence reveals imbalances. And more. Certain doors that once seemed impossible to open now unlock effortlessly. Not because the world changed, but because your vibration changed, and with it, your access to the invisible. The energy you carry is a living code, and that code is now resonating with higher realities. Understand this. You don't need permission to exist in this new phase. You are the permission. You are the sign. You are the proof that vibrational mutation works, and that victory can happen from the inside out. The new season has already recognized your presence. Now it's the world that's trying to reorganize around you. Trust the discomfort. It's just a symptom of a reality adjusting to a new center of gravity. You. Maybe you're still waiting for something to appear to validate what already is. But the truth is, the mutation you've undergone can't be seen with the eyes. It's felt with the soul. It manifests in silent choices, in thoughts that have changed shape, in reactions that now take a different path. You're not a better version of who you were. You're a new version, with a new vibrational field, a new internal code, a new spiritual destiny. And that's why people look at you and say, "There's something different, but I don't know what." What changed wasn't your body. It was your light. It was your internal structure, your invisible permissions, your pacts with the unseen. You stopped being just the result of your story and started being the response to a higher calling. That calling isn't heard with the ears. It resonates in the chest. This spiritual mutation didn't happen by accident. It was forged in silence, in unshared pain, in lonely nights, in waits that seemed pointless. You thought you were stuck, but you were being rewritten. The old versions of you were sacred, yes, but now they're too small. You can no longer fit into the same habits, circles, desires, or narratives, and trying to force that fit will create anguish. Because your soul knows, what you've experienced wasn't linear evolution. It was dimensional transmutation. You've become a point of transition between realities, between cycles, between vibrations. You carry a code that breaks patterns, defies logic, and doesn't conform. And for that very reason, you won't be understood by everyone, nor should you be. Some mutations are initiatory. They open portals for others. And the first sign that you're ready is when you stop trying to be understood and start simply being. You are the mutation embodied. Don't seek visual confirmation. Honor the invisible that reconfigured you. Because those who see with their eyes will only see the same as always. But those who feel with their soul have already recognized it. You're in a new vibrational season. And maybe the impulse now is to explain, share, show what happened. But that impulse is the final test. The most delicate phase of spiritual transition isn't crossing the portal. It's protecting what was revealed after crossing it. The true spiritualist knows. Certain victories need to ripen in silence. Not because they're fragile, but because they're still energetically sensitive. And when you share prematurely with misaligned ears, the field fragments. Explaining too much at this moment can be a subtle way of seeking validation, and the need for validation weakens the vibration of the conquest. Not everything sacred needs to be spoken. In fact, most profound manifestations only flourish when preserved. You may feel the urge to announce what you've accessed, but remember, those who haven't crossed the same portal won't understand the language, and the sacred shouldn't be translated for the profane. You don't need to post. You don't need to justify. You don't need to answer questions born of curiosity rather than sensitivity. The code you received is meant to be lived, not sold. In this new cycle, silence is a spiritual shield, and protecting what you saw in the invisible is protecting the manifestation itself. You're still anchoring your new frequency, and for that, you need a clean vibrational space, free from external noise trying to rationalize what is mystical by nature. Those who need to know will perceive. Those who are aligned will feel. The rest will react with confusion, resistance, or irony. But you no longer need to defend yourself from that. You're not seeking belonging anymore. You are the belonging. This is the final test. Being able to inhabit the new without trying to prove it's real. Being able to hold faith without explanation. Being able to live in depth without performance. The sacred recognizes those who honor it with silence, and the universe releases more to those who guard well what's already been entrusted. You're not the predictable continuation of your lineage. You are the point of rupture, the vibrational break, the energetic anomaly that came to interrupt the cycle, not repeat it. And the most incredible thing? You didn't need to shout for this to happen. Your transformation was silent, but devastating to the system that created you. Because when a soul awakens in the midst of chaos and chooses lucidity, it breaks centuries of conditioning with a single decision. No more. No more carrying inherited guilt. No more repeating unconscious sabotages. No more perpetuating trauma as identity. You broke through. And because of that, your victory isn't just yours. It's collective. It's ancestral. It's dimensional. There's a discomfort starting to settle around you. People who once saw you as an equal now feel uneasy in your presence. Environments that shaped you are starting to reject you, and you feel it. You're no longer welcome in places where your pain was necessary for the system to function. And that's okay. You didn't come to be accepted. You came to be the point of mutation. The point of questioning. The no that reconfigures the timeline. You're breaking the karma, and that, in itself, already causes ripples in the field. But those ripples are just symptoms of liberation. The resistance you feel isn't because you're on the wrong path. It's because you hit the core of repetition with precision. Your frequency is now disruptive. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't apologize. It simply vibrates. And in that vibration, it dismantles patterns, dissolves illusions, and calls others to awaken too. Yes, this can be scary. Yes, this can isolate. But this is how true transformation begins. With someone having the courage to be what no one was before. You're not the heir of chaos. You're the messenger of the new order. And your victory, even if internal, is already echoing through the invisible fields of your entire lineage. Keep going. You weren't sent to please. You were sent to heal. You're moving forward. Even when it feels like you're regressing, stumbling, or facing old ghosts. But here's the secret few realize. Before a new cycle solidifies, the universe tests your vibration with echoes of the old. It's the final confrontation. The last attempt of the previous vibrational field to pull you back, not out of malice, but as confirmation. Have you truly changed? Old relationships resurface. Pains you swore you'd healed come back to prod. Situations you thought you'd overcome appear in new disguises. Don't be afraid. Don't blame yourself. And above all, don't confuse this confrontation with regression. You're in a spiral, not a straight line. That's why sometimes you find yourself facing the same scenario. But now, you see it from above, with new eyes, with a new vibration, with a new consciousness. This is the true test of spiritual mutation, to see the old with a new soul and choose differently, to not fall into the trap of thinking nothing has changed, because it has. You have. And because of that, what once held you no longer has the same power. This final confrontation is symbolic. It didn't come to knock you down. It came so you can declare with your energetic posture, I no longer vibrate in this. This is where many souls in transition stumble. They mistake the test for failure. They go back to judging themselves, blaming themselves, doubting the journey. But the universe isn't being cruel. It's being thorough. It's giving you the chance to seal the new cycle with spiritual maturity. Don't run from the confrontation, but don't feed it either. Observe, recognize, honor who you were, and then, with firmness and lightness, walk toward what you already know you deserve. The season of victory demands this final step, the firm decision to no longer vibrate where you've already healed. You're not regressing, you're being approved. And your silent response will be the seal that activates the new definitively. You spent so much time seeking, fighting, waiting, that maybe you got used to the feeling of always being on the way. But now something has changed. Subtly, silently, you've arrived. And that's why the old desire to reach no longer makes sense. The victory you waited for isn't a future promise anymore. It's already happening, it's already manifested. Not as an event, but as a frequency. And if you haven't realized it yet, it's because you're looking outside for what's already vibrating within. You don't need to chase anymore, you just need to anchor. It's as if you've crossed an invisible portal, and now you're stepping into a new energetic reality. Everything is here. Everything has been released. But continuous access to this reality depends on one thing: vibrational maintenance. Many cross over. Few sustain. Because it's easier to conquer than to remain. It's easier to activate than to nurture. But the frequency of victory only stabilizes in those who have the courage to live from it every day, even when nothing around them confirms it. This season demands presence, not haste. It doesn't respond to forced effort, but to energetic coherence. Do you want to stay in this new cycle? Then live as if you're already in it. Act as if you already carry this light. Think, speak, choose, breathe, as if you already are. Because you are. The trap now is believing something is still missing, that it's not enough yet, that you need one more sign, one more confirmation, one more guarantee. But that kind of thinking is a remnant of the old cycle. It's vibrational sabotage. The new season won't convince you. It will only open to those who sustain the code. So now it's time to change the question. No longer, when will it be my turn? But instead, how can I honor what's already been given to me? You're not trying to access the future anymore. You're inhabiting the present with elevated consciousness, and that's the great secret. Victory isn't at the finish line. It's in every step sustained with faith and frequency. You've already entered. You've already crossed. You're already where you asked to be. Now, it's about sustaining. If you felt every word vibrating within you, it's because you've already crossed. What was once a search is now habitation. What was a promise has become presence. You're no longer on the sidelines. You're at the center of the season you've been waiting for. But now, the call is different. It's not about continuing to fight. It's about sustaining, protecting, living in coherence with the vibration you've activated, because the universe doesn't deliver to those who run the fastest. It delivers to those who sustain the code. This is the season of victory, but only those who honor the invisible that brought them here remain in it. So guard your frequency like you would a sacred altar. Choose your words. Purify your thoughts. Distance yourself from what drains. Draw closer to what expands. You are no longer what happened to you. You are what you did with what happened. And now, you're a sign for others. A seed of a new reality. If you felt this word vibrate within you, then the season of victory has already begun. Now it's about sustaining, living, honoring, and becoming the sign for others. Share this video with those who need to remember they've already crossed. They just need to stop doubting. And subscribe, because here every message is a code that activates.